Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ari, and hopefully you'll stick around for a short video. Okay guys, so today is sort of an update of sorts. As you know, over the past several months I've talked about different steps in coming out, and you know that unfortunately, as irritating as it gets, coming out isn't really a one-time deal. So, you know, I came out to my best friend, I did a video on that. Then I came out at work, and I did a video on that. And then I came out to my mother, and I did a video on that. I do a lot of videos about that. But this was kind of the final big coming out moment. So guys, recently I had decided that I was done feeling like I was living two separate lives. You know, here in my day-to-day life, I'm fully me. But online, I still had everything set up as male. You know, I changed that kind of secretly after I came out to my mother. But there was still so much and so many people on my friends list who had no idea. People I went to school with, people in my family. I still hadn't told my father yet. And I had an idea that I wanted to come out kind of simple online with just a photo stating it and move on. Which I'll insert the photo. I did insert it in a previous video, so you've already seen a little bit about that. But I will insert the photo anyway. So this past Friday evening, I sent my mother a message and asked her her thoughts on me just posting something on Facebook, fully coming out to everyone that I knew. I didn't want to do anything. Me and my mother are really close, and I try to be respectful of her boundaries, and I wanted to give her time to adjust, because if you've watched the previous video, it hasn't been that long since my mother officially found out. Now, of course, she knew before I had told her, but from me, it hadn't been that long. So I wanted to make sure it was on her comfort level. And she was good with moving forward with it, but we both agreed that I kind of needed to take the time to reach out and tell my father. So my parents are divorced. They've been divorced for a long, long time. So my parents don't typically talk to each other. There's no hard feelings. They just don't see each other. So I decided I was going to reach out, and I sent my father a message. And then I went ahead, after I hadn't heard anything back at the time, and posted that little status update, which went really, really well. So when I posted the status update, the photo, I got a lot of very supportive comments from friends and family. There were no negative comments on the thread, so if anybody was thinking anything negative, they didn't decide to share it. And it took a few days. And then I got a message back from my dad saying that he was going to call me that evening. And I was a complete and total nervous wreck, because honestly, I have no idea where my father was going to be coming from on this. But when you are not only the only child, at least for my father, but the only child and the only son, I wasn't sure how that would go. So that evening, my father called, and it started out, I guess, somewhat awkward at first on my end. So when we first started talking, it was kind of the standard, how are you doing, how's everything been going, update on my job situation. I didn't bring it up, and he didn't bring it up. And then finally, my father has an interesting sense of humor. He's like, well, it doesn't seem like you're going to talk about it, so I'm just going to bring it up. And I had no clue what was going to come from that, but at least he didn't seem to have a serious, like, negative tone when he said it. And what he said was actually really good. That he kind of had an idea, although he may not have known exactly what it was. He doesn't have Facebook or anything like that, but my aunt had kind of showed him pictures as I was regularly posting. So obviously he had seen changes along the way. And I kind of explained to him a little bit about what was going on with the process and the medical side of it, although not in great detail. And, you know, I told him I wanted to work with it on his comfort level, and I tried to make sure with everyone I wasn't too aggressive with details. because I first want them to adjust to this, and then we'll talk about other things. So he was really good about everything. He even actually asked about coming up over the summer to maybe spend some time together, do some bike riding, some things like that, which was interesting because my father is a very protective sort. So his whole thing was just when we went out, he was like, well, if someone says something, I'll probably end up punching them in the face. Like when I go out in public, I don't have people who misgender me or say the wrong things. The only people that I have to worry about that from are the people who already know me and knew me before transition. But otherwise, when I go out in public, the only thing I've ever gotten since transition was, yes ma'am, no ma'am, how can I help you ma'am? So it really wasn't a big issue, but I did want him to know ahead of time that, I would be looking a little bit different and continuing to, because by summer a lot can change with HRT and hair growth and fat redistribution, God willing, and breast growth, which I hope really kicks it into high gear. But I wanted to make sure he understood that. So with that coming out to my father and posting that online message, that pretty much put me to the point of being fully 100% out. I know there are people in my family who I don't have on Facebook, I don't talk to necessarily regularly, who may be distant enough to where they won't know. So that pretty much put me in the fully out to everyone I know and have known in the past. And I'm going to tell you, that's a pretty amazing feeling. For all these years, I've carried this on my back. I didn't even come out publicly to the people in the old part of my life as gay. I didn't come out as gay until I moved here, and then it was just the people in this new chapter that knew. So making this huge step of coming out to everyone just lifted such a burden. To be me, to not have to edit myself, because living two lives is never a good thing. You don't want to be living your life feeling like you have to part of the time be one person and part of the time be the other person. And what you really never get to do is actually be you. But when you're fully out, you get to shed all the acting and you get to just be you. You get to come on camera when you look like complete and total crap and haven't done your hair, because you are you, and and that was an amazing change. So I just couldn't believe how different it felt to finally have that off my back. So guys, that was today's video. Make sure if you haven't already click subscribe. Let me know what you would like to see in future videos. Hit the little alarm bell so that you'll know when new content is posted. Join us for the live streams, which one is tomorrow, which even though I said it in the last video, I don't remember what the date is. It will be Thursday, February the 8th of 2018 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully you can join us then. In closing, quote from Kesha, "Don't let the bastards get you down. Be authentically you." Coming from someone who never ever thought they'd be able to be free to just be themselves, it is an amazing feeling when you're finally able to do that. It's worth it. You're worth it. That's pretty much it for the video. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video, or I'll see you in the next live stream. Bye-bye.